Hi there, this is Dave and welcome to New RPG News. But before we do get started, I have a special announcement that I do want to make. I have partnered with Switch Wicked, which are the same people that make Super Derek's t-shirts, and I've made my own shirt! How cool is that? And trust, this isn't like those cheap, itchy, disgusting shirts that you buy at Michael's and you iron on the little thing. These are like really high quality. There's a tank top, and there's also a t-shirt right here. And I actually went to the park and I made an advertisement and Ken filmed it. And I want to show it off and debut it right now for all y'all. Like the shirt? Cool! I do too! Well, I guess I really should, since I, along with Switch Wicked, the same people who do Super Derek shirts, designed it together! I am happy to announce that I partnered with them to design these super cool, soft, and high-quality tank tops and t-shirts, and they're only going to be available for pre-order for an extremely limited amount of time. We're only talking like 2 weeks here, people, so if you want to get a hold of one and be the coolest kid in the room, as well as support the channel at the same time, hurry on over and click the link below to order them for yourselves. And now, let's get back to the video. So what'd y'all think? Is Ken a great videographer or what? We gotta give him props there. If y'all like the shirt and you want to get one for yourself, just click the link below in the video description and the pinned comment, and you can pick one up. Remember, these are limited time only for like 2 weeks will this pre-sale be going on. And if they do pretty well, I'm gonna design more shirts with like retro RPGs in mind and different cute sayings and stuff. I have something in mind for like Lunar Silver Star Story right now, but I'm just kind of mulling that over in my head. Anyway, let's get started with the news. We have a lot to talk about today, as usual, from some game delays, to some new game announcements, to some demos, to some cool physicals as well. But we're going to start here recapping what I spoke about just the other day insofar as Xbox Online services, as well as some Nintendo Online services. The 3DS and the Wii U software online services are going to be ending in April of 2024. So right now I don't want to go into full detail on this because I already did do a video on it. I just want to let you know, just do a public service announcement to let y'all know that if you do have these systems, you want to back them up. You definitely want to get everything that you can off of them right now before these online services end and the servers close forever. Also, if you still do use the Pokemon Bank, though, that will stay online. As far as Xbox is concerned, the Game Pass will be hiking up their prices. This is not a rumor. This has been confirmed by the Xbox CEO, Phil Spencer. We saw that Sony did it, so of course, their twin, the Xbox, has to do it as well. Not only did they say that they're going to be raising up the prices, but they pretty much said that they are heading towards a digital-only future, and their entire tenure of staying in the console business rests solely upon the back of Game Pass. If enough people have Game Pass, then Xbox will stay in the console business. If not enough people buy Game Pass, then guess what? They're leaving the console business entirely. So yeah, like, it's kind of crazy, I've got to say. It says right here, with Phil Spencer even saying that if subscribers on PC aren't where they need to be in 2028, that could result in Microsoft leaving the gaming business entirely. So that's kind of a crazy quote right there. We'll see what that has in store for the gaming community. I know that they were kind of complaining about how they were in third place with those court documents and everything, so maybe this is him trying to get an easy out. I don't really know what's going on over there, but they also did say just a couple of weeks ago that they do want to bring in more JRPGs onto the Xbox. So I know personally I don't own one, but if they brought out exclusive JRPGs, then yeah, I would buy one, like, duh. So that's all it's going to take for me to get this console is going to be some exclusives. Now we have some fascinating news. The first new news of the news show. Compile Heart, who we all know makes fantastic JRPGs, has announced 7 new titles. Woohoo! And you'll have to excuse my pronunciation as I go through all of these because, yeah. So not only are they announcing new titles, but they're also coming under a new management structure with Naoto Tumigaga serving as president, and Hikaru Yasui as director. And the Hikaru Yasui, he worked on Hexis Force, which is like one of my favorite games back on the PSP. That game was fantastic. So I do have a lot of faith in him. He also worked for Sting, and he also made Blaze Union Story to Reach for the Future as well. So he does have some pedigree behind him. He also worked for Neptunia Sisters vs. Sisters, as well as Neptunia Game Maker R Evolution. The Neptunias, I'm not saying that's really a good pedigree, but hey, whatever. We have a new management structure in place, and basically what they're trying to say is that they're trying to create more games than ever before in more genres than ever before, and they're expanding its scope to include not only Japan but also overseas markets. I don't know if it's the best idea for them to expand their scope so much. I think that they would probably be better off putting all of their big brains into one game and actually making it, really good. But we'll see how this goes. I mean, they can't crash and burn more than they've already crashed and burned now, can they? Anyway, let's go through these games. I have no faith in this company whatsoever. Okay, we have Tudokero Tatake Calamity Angels. It's a delivery-themed RPG for the PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC. It's going to launching for consoles in Japan in summer of 24. Followed by PC and Steam a bit later. It says, this slapstick-style game will feature voluptuous, cute, and comical characters, and story and gameplay that revolves around various personality types like Moe and Airheads. Well, that's definitely a pass for me. Voluptuous Moe and Airheads? Yeah, I don't think so. Next one. Touhou Spell Carnival. Again, this is all just my opinion. Don't take it personally, people. This is a tactical RPG developed in cooperation with Sting for multiple platforms, launching in spring of 2024 in Japan. It revolves around a 30-day spell card battle in which many characters participate, with battle and story parts alternating. I wonder if this is like a card-based battle sort of thing, maybe like Batten Kaitos? It says the game itself will combine the bullet hell of shoot-'em-ups with tactical battles. Okay, well that answers that question. This includes incorporating familiar elements from shoot-'em-up games such as high-powered bombs. The battles are real-time. Then there's an untitled shoot-'em-up game that I don't care about. It's going to launch for unannounced platforms in late summer 2024 in Japan. Looks like a spaceship shooter like Gradius. This one, though, I'm actually kind of hyped about, I've got to say. It's Madao Monogatari 4! Woohoo! If you don't know what these games are, they're like a spin-off of the Puyo Puyo franchise, which is a puzzle-based game, which you might know as Kirby's Avalanche here in America. But these games were never actually released over... Like the RPGs, at least, were never actually released over here in the West, but they were released over in Japan. Some of them do have translation patches, and I'm showing gameplay of the third game up top, but it's been like a good 20 plus years since this game has come out. But this is a traditional JRPG, so this is really cool. I do have faith in this, and also Sega is cooperating, allowing the familiar characters such as those from the Puyo Puyo series. So that is really, really nice. Then there is Death End Request Code Zion, which is a spin-off entry of the series, due for unannounced platforms in summer 2024. Wow, a lot of games coming out in summer 2024 from Compile Heart here. It says that it's connected to that series and will feature new elements that Compile Heart is able to challenge due to the fact that this game is a spin-off. That's literally how they wrote it. Will feature new elements that Compile Heart is able to challenge? I don't even know what that means. Okay, whatever. I'm sorry. Untitled Mainline Death End Request. So this is a new numbered entry in that series. So the other one was a spin-off, and this is a new mainline entry. And then an untitled mainline Neptunia game. I know there's a lot of fans of Neptunia out there as well. This, again, doesn't have a release date, doesn't have any announced platforms either. If I was to take a gander, I would say, duh, Sony. So yeah, it's always exciting whenever just a new RPGs, new games just drop out of nowhere. And yeah, I know it's Compile Heart, so don't, Don't get your hopes up too high. But out of 7 games, hopefully one of them will be good. Speaking of bad compile heart games, Neptunia Sisters vs. Sisters is coming out for the Switch in the West in 2024. This didn't come out for the Switch before. It came out for the Sony systems. Now it is coming over to the Switch. So if you were looking for an incredibly god-awful action RPG, one of the worst action RPGs you've ever played in your entire life, and you want to pay full price for it over on the Switch, have at it! You can now! Woo! Yeah, I actually reviewed this game on my channel whenever it first came out, and oh man, it was bad. It was jank on top of jank on top of jank. So yeah, but I remember I'm not really big into the Neptunia series, but it was something about like you controlled like the goddess's little sisters or something, and then you ran around and you fought battles with them, and action-based battles, and oh my god, like I played better action RPGs on the NES, for God's sakes. It was something. Worldless has been delayed to November 21st. It was no longer going to be coming out on October 4th. I put this in my upcoming October release video because at the time it was going to be released in October, but now I'm going to be putting it in my November release video because it's coming out November 21st. Why not? And it just looks really freaking cool. Like I said before, like I always like to look on Steam and just find like different games for those types of videos and let's like kind of bring their attention to y'all, and this one was like one of the most different ones that I saw. It is neat. It is like Metroidvania meets turn-based battles, but like you control like light or something. It just looks really freaking cool. This is definitely high up on my list of games that I do want to check out. It's coming out for the PS5, the Xbox, PS4, Switch, and PC on November 21st. Snufkin Melody of Moomin Valley has a demo. It's available for the PC until October 16th. And this is a video game based upon a book. It's a long-running book series that began in 1945, and now they're creating a game series on it, and it is a Nordic themed game. It looks pretty neat. It's one of those cozy games. It says it will offer a wholesome experience for every age that combines open world mechanics with puzzles, stealth, and melodic elements. It's a story-rich musical adventure game about Snufkin restoring the valley and helping the quirky and memorable characters and critters who call it home. A series of hideous parks have appeared in Moomin Valley, disrupting the landscape and its harmonious nature. As Snufkin, you will distract police officers, pull out signs, and knock over misplaced statues as you restore nature and the inhabitants' homes while putting an end to the industrious park keepers' plans. Mail time for the PS5, PS4, and Switch is launching October 19th. It is currently already available for the PC. It says that this is a cottage core adventure game. What is the difference between wholesome game, cozy game, and cottage core? I have no idea. To me, they're all the same thing, and to me, they're all games that I just kind of don't play and kind of ignore because I'm just not a fan of them. But I know that a lot of y'all out there are, so I'm bringing them to your attention. Anyway, let's go ahead and read the overview. It says, grab an adorable mushroom-shaped backpack and get ready to deliver a stack of letters, gifts, and other miscellaneous goodies to the cuddly critters of Grumblewood Grove. No need to avoid frightening enemies or worry about a timetable. Mail time is an adventure meant to be appreciated at whatever pace feels right. Oh, thank God, I hate whenever they put timing on these games. To me, the second that you put a timer on a cozy game, it no longer becomes cozy. It becomes stressful. So I am glad about that. Explore cute and quirky storylines, helping everyone from a snail with a secret crush to hungry hamsters pining for a delicious snack. Plan for speedy deliveries or take the scenic route to smell the flowers and enjoy the sights. Jump, bounce, and glide from leaf to branch, finding sign paths and secret spots to collect soda bottle caps and embark on new quests. This does look cute as a button, I must say. Okay, we've officially left the wholesome, cozy, cottage core types of games to get some roguelikes, which is much more my speed. This is called Warm Snow and is coming to the PS5, Xbox, PS4, and Switch on October 20th. It is already out for the PC. It's going to cost $20. Looks like it's going to be digital only as well. So this came out for the PC back in 2022. Oh, it also came out for the iOS and Android. Oh, in China. 2 million? Wow, this thing sold over 2 million. Okay, whatever. So let's read about this game. It says, it's a roguelike action game with a background set in a dark fantasy world where the eerie warm snow holds sway. You'll play as the warrior Bian on a crusade against the 5 great clans in order to save the world teetering on the brink of destruction. In the year 27 of the Long Wu era, a strange warm snow refuses to melt and plunges the world into chaos, turning the people into uncontrollable monsters. Okay, so interesting. You play as Bian, a mysterious warrior wandering in the Oriental dark fantasy universe. Your mission is to confront the 5 houses, which used to protect the world by delivering them from the corruption and to finally defeat the White Lotus. So, already 2 million people bought this. It can't be all that bad, I would imagine. When last I came to you, I spoke about Sharon the Wanderer, but we didn't have an official release date. We didn't even know if it was coming out in America yet, but now we do! It is coming to the West on February 27th of next year. This is the 6th mainline game in the series, and there will be a physical version that will be available for pre-order, although it is not yet available for pre-order. There is like an artist rendition of what you might get, but I searched, believe me, I looked. You can't actually pre-order it yet. I didn't find anything there. So this was announced during the Japanese Nintendo Direct, but it wasn't in the Western broadcast, so we didn't know if we were going to be getting this, but now we are. If you don't know what this series is, it's like the longest running mystery dungeon, a randomly generated dungeon, roguelike series out there. It's been going on since I want to say like the SNES era. This has been going on for quite a bit of time. So if you were a fan of this series, now you can get the next entry. This is the artist rendition of what it will look like. It looks like it's coming with the Japanese artwork on the box, as well as a first run bonus and a sticker. It doesn't look like there's going to be any sort of like collector's edition or limited edition, just a physical copy of it. So whenever this does come out and you can order this physically, I will be sure to let you know. Remember Trinity Trigger? This was the Secret of Mana kind of spin-off, knockoff game that came out earlier this year that I really liked. Well, the Day 1 edition is still available on Amazon, and now it is on sale. So if you didn't pick it up before at $45, you can pick it up now at $40. And this was a pretty sweet collector's edition, and I will include a link to this down in the video description and comments too if you do want to pick it up. You do get that box. I have my copy back there still because I thought that this limited edition was just great. So you get the big box, you get the game itself right there, you get the art of Trinity Trigger, and you get the soundtrack CDs. All this for only $40 frickin' dollars, whenever normally you just get not even a game, you get a digital game for $70, and now you get all this for $40. Thank you, Xseed. Thank you, Marvelous. Y'all are awesome. Not an RPG, but it's my childhood, so I just have to mention it. A Boy and His Blob Retro Collection is launching October 17th for the PS5, PS4, and Switch, as well as for the PC, and this will be released physically by Limited Run Games. This is a compilation of the NES version of A Boy and His Blob, as well as the Game Boy game of A Boy and His Blob as well, and they're both together in one game. I remember renting this from Blockbuster, and I couldn't really get all that far. Like, I wanted to like it, but the problem was that they gave you limited amount of jelly beans, and if you wasted your jelly beans, you were just screwed, and you would just get to places that like you couldn't pass, so you'd have to reset the game and be like, okay, don't use that jelly bean here, use this jelly bean here instead, and you only had so many, and you like couldn't get more of them. So it was like a puzzle game, but it was brutal. That was my recollection of A Boy and His Blob. I think that I would like it better if you just had like unlimited jelly beans. It was kind of like I don't know, it was kind of like Kirby, where you can like change the blob into whatever you want, you know what I mean? But you can only do it a limited amount of times, which kind of bothered me. But this was a game that I wanted to like as a kid, but I could never really get into it for that reason. Maybe if I went back to it and I played it now, I would like it a bit better, because, you know, I am smarter, supposedly, now. The Front Mission First remake is getting a physical limited edition for the PS5 and Xbox, and is launching December 5th. So this previously came out for the Nintendo Switch, but now you can get it for the for the Sony systems and the Microsoft systems, and it comes with the game. It comes with an exclusive lenticular, a printed game manual, and 2 lithographs as well. So if you've been holding off on getting this because you were just waiting for a physical version, now you can get it. So yeah, it is there for pre-order. It is there for purchase on December 5th. Okay, we're kind of getting into that news of the weird area, but this, I don't know if it's weird, but it is neatsy weetsy petitesies. Capcom itself is emulating their own retro games and allowing you to play them for free in your browser. Yeah, you know, you could emulate these yourself and play them in your emulator if you want to, or you could actually, like, take up Capcom on their gracious offer and play them legally. Like, hey, here's a whole bunch of games, come over and play them. How cool is that? And you can play the Japanese version of these games or the English version of the games. There's Breath of Fire, Ghosts and Goblins, Super Ghosts and Goblins, Mega Man, Street Fighter 2, Mega Man 2 Final Fight, and Mega Man X, all here for you to play, from the NES to the SNES to the Famicom to the Super Famicom, Japanese or English. I think that this is great. I would love to see some other companies kind of preserve their games in this way. I think that this is a good step forward in game preservation, and I applaud Capcom for doing this. So yesterday I got this random tweet about this game called Initial Daydream, and somebody was like, hey, hopefully Davidvinc will mention us in their news show. And I'm like, what is this? And I looked at it and I thought it was a Game Boy game at first. And I'm like, oh, cool, a Game Boy game. But no, it's for like an entirely new system that I've never heard of in my life. It's called the Playdate, and it looks like a yellow Pokemon Game Boy that you chopped in half with a saw. But there's a crank on this side too, and I'm like, what in the world is this thing? So this is a tiny brand new handheld system with a bunch of games that's $200 for this. It's a black and white screen, and it's not backlit either, just like the original Game Boy. I guess they're going for nostalgia here or something, I don't know. It says that it has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and a loud speaker as well. Whenever you're not using it, it becomes a clock. You can hold it in the palm of your hand. You can see how tiny it is right there. And then this crank, at first I was like, maybe you like crank it as like a battery or something? Like, I don't really know. But no, it's an analog controller that flips out from the side that allows you to precisely dial the action, it says. I thought this was really, really unusual. Then, unlike the Game Boy where you bought like cartridges and stuff, you don't here. Instead, the games are released in seasons. There are multiple seasons of games, and once you begin and set up your playdate, you receive 2 brand new games every single week for the length of that season, for 12 weeks, and the second season is gearing up, and there hasn't been an RPG released on the system yet, but now a brand new RPG is going to be released in the second season called Initial Daydream. So I think that that is really neat. It's always just, I don't know, it's like once you think that you might know everything that there is to know about the gaming industry, and you really think that you're like dialed in and tuned in on it, then something like this pops up and you're like, what in the world is this? Like, there's always something else. It's always so exciting to me. It's always something different. And just whenever you also think that, like, oh, games are only going one direction. Games are only getting like more 3D, more bigger, more brighter, more photorealistic. Then you get something like this, and you're like, wow, we're back to the Game Boy. We're back to the 80s. So we're back to, you know, my childhood. So who knows? It's always just interesting to me to see where gaming goes and what people enjoy. And this thing looks cool, I've got to say. It's just so different. It's just so neat. So I thought that I would bring this up for y'all. So that ends this week's news program. Let me know what you guys are most interested in. Let me know if there's anything else that you'd like for me to cover next week. And as always, have a good day. And don't forget to buy your shirts!